Hello everyone, my name is Joel and welcome to my first ever crypto video. I've been involved in the space for a number of years investing. I've always wanted to get into content creating but never quite got down to it. But here we are, so hopefully this video will be informative. Obviously feel free to give me any tips and advice down below. Just try not to criticize me too much. It's my first video. Bear with me, I will get better with time. So here we go, the top 10. Everything pretty much having a bad day. If you look 24 hours, nothing really standing out. I mean, GMT is a bit of an outlier, but everything else pretty much even or in the red, and pretty much most of them in big time in the red. Yeah, Moonbeam, Thorchain, Theta, Mina, Compound Engine, quite a lot of them taking the brunt of this. I do know that Mina had quite the run before this though, before this dump, so I'm not too surprised that that's took the brunt of it. It is worth noting, however, if you look on the monthly chart, we're only back around where we were on the 21st of March, which of course isn't ideal. We'd all rather be going up than down, but it's always good to have like that long-term view. I mean, look where we came from, and I still do believe we're on that right trajectory, I think, so don't go panic selling just yet. If anything, I'm really surprised at how well Bitcoin's held up, considering the Ukraine and Russia war. I mean, it's the closest we've ever been to World War III. I think if Bitcoin is doing okay now, then that's a good sign. Could Mexico be convinced to make Bitcoin legal tender? So obviously we've just had the Bitcoin Miami conference, which is a very big deal. And there, a Mexican senator, Indira Kempis, has announced that she wants to propose that Mexico adopt Bitcoin as legal tender in the country within the next 2 months. Goes without saying, if that was to go through, that would be huge. That would be following the footsteps of El Salvador and Honduras. Well, Prospera, which is off the northern coast of Honduras, and Madeira. They are all small territories, but Mexico would be a game changer. They rank as the 10th largest population in the world, with a median age of 29. It's worth noting as well, Mexico is neither for or against crypto politically, so hopefully they stand a good chance of getting this through. I don't want to get too carried away because it's early days, but I think we'd all love to see this go through. The Luna Foundation Treasury now holds 40,000 Bitcoin after $173 million purchase. I love what the Luna Foundation are doing with Bitcoin. However, I'm more excited about the Avalanche partnership right now. I'm a very big fan of Avalanche, and the Terra team have purchased $200 million worth of Avalanche. $100 million with the UST algorithmic stablecoin, and another $100 million with the Terra Luna token itself. I'm really excited to see what these two do together, collaborating in the future. And yeah, I know that they're teaming up for a game in subnet, so that should be exciting. Kraken shuts down San Francisco-based headquarters. They say this is for the safety of their staff. The CEO has been quite forthright in blaming the district attorney. He said he's had staff attacked on the streets, robbed and harassed to and from office, and he blames the catch and release program. So hopefully this gets sorted. In the meantime, it looks like Kraken's going to be relocating elsewhere. It's sad to see this happen anywhere, especially in the US. Obviously, I'm from the UK, but the UK-US has strong ties. We don't want to see this happening anywhere. Safety should be a right, no matter where you live or work. So yeah, hopefully this gets sorted soon. The EU Council expands sanctions on crypto wallets targeting Russian officials. This was always going to happen, wasn't it? Crypto was always going to be in the limelight and get a lot of negative press during this war. I'm against any war, so I understand why they're doing it. My worst fears came true when Russia started warming towards crypto around this time. From what I remember, Moscow had always been a bit like China in the sense that they're like for crypto, then they're against it. There's a lot of positive, then negative news. But yeah, lately they started advocating to legalize mining as a way to cushion the sanctions. Obviously, because of their sanctions, they're not allowed to use the US dollar. So they're considering using Bitcoin for international transactions. So I think this is going to be a long running issue. And we're just going to have to see where this goes. But as you all know, Bitcoin is on a public ledger. So I think a lot of this is overstated. I think I won't worry too much. Elon Musk decides not to join the Twitter board. I'm sure a lot of you know that Elon Musk became the largest shareholder of Twitter with a 9.2% stake. He's been embroiled in a lot of controversy lately as he's a free speech advocate. But a lot of Doge fans have got excited because he's proposed a Twitter Blue subscription which could use Doge payments. This is just something he's coined up in a Twitter post, so whether we'd ever see this, I don't know. But I imagine a lot of Dogecoin fans are very excited about it. Binance appoints former FCA boss as global regulatory head. For those of you that don't know, the FCA is basically the UK's equivalent of the SEC. Binance had a lot of regulatory trouble last year. A lot of banks didn't want nothing to do with them. A lot of people couldn't deposit or withdraw from Binance. So this is clearly their way of trying to right a lot of wrongs and get our good public sentiment back. So hopefully they can do that. Binance was my favorite exchange. There's a lot of people that got into crypto as newbies, and they ended up selling all their crypto when Binance went through a lot of trouble because they thought it was a scam, because it did have a lot of negative press. So hopefully Binance can get that sorted, because I don't use it anymore. It was my go-to for years. No, I don't use it at all. Why Bitcoin is the hope and future of activist movements. Right, I suggest you read this article because this is really, really interesting. Showcases the power of Bitcoin and how it empowers you, any individual really. I'm just going to be focusing on pretty much the one person, a North Korean defector, but you should read it yourself because it is all worth reading. You obviously got a Palestinian anti-corruption advocate, human rights activist. It's all worth a read. But there's some shocking things in here. 87% of the population doesn't have property rights, free speech, a functioning legal system, and stable reserve currency. Bitcoin doesn't discriminate. Governments use money to control, exploit, and sustain schemes where few thrive in profits and a vast majority die starved. 70% of people that flee North Korea can't have bank accounts and are vulnerable and sold as sex slaves. 300,000 North Korean women and over 1 million children are left stateless, not recognized or legalized by either country, and have no education, ID, or bank. Obviously, Bitcoin changes all of this. A lot of people think Bitcoin is pointless, but a lot of us are born in countries like the UK and US where we're very privileged. Yeah, I suggest you read this. It's a really good article. Apparently, we're getting a lot more women users in the space as well, which is nice to see. If Bitcoin is the future, then we all need to get involved. women need to have some of these gains as well. So the Australian Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Exchange said that it saw 175% increase in women users in the last fiscal year. But this is pretty much across the board. Singapore is 40%, in India 38%. You got 32% in the United States. United Kingdom's got 35%. This is of all crypto holders in the region. The woman, the myth, the legend, Cathie Wood. Her Ark Invest has dumped PayPal and is favouring Bitcoin-friendly Cash App. Obviously, Cathie Wood's known to be a fan of Bitcoin. She was an early investor in Tesla as well, I believe. I think in the future, this is what we're going to see a lot more of. A lot more investors that maybe are afraid to hold Bitcoin or Ethereum itself, but are willing to get some indirect exposure to the asset. I think we'll see a lot of people investing in exchanges and things like that in the future. And then last but not least, we got AC Milan launching their NFT collection. I'm a Liverpool fan. They launched their NFT collection pretty recently, a couple of days ago. I actually didn't get involved with it. That was because of the supply. There's literally like 900,000 NFTs. I might have made the wrong choice there though, because only 5% got minted and the rest got burnt. So who knows? Maybe they'll be worth a lot in the future. I shall have to wait and see. But I like what AC Milan are doing. They're doing 75,817, which is representative of the capacity of the club's home ground, the San Siro Stadium. That makes a lot of sense. They're collaborating with BitMEX. And Solana NFT sales are gaining momentum. So obviously we had OpenSea integrate with Solana, and they've seen an increase of 51.5% NFT sales on Solana in the last 24 hours. So my questions for you are, will Mexico approve BTC as legal tender? And what do you think of NFTs? I shall see you in the next video.